Well, hey there, rock stars. Sarah Rockin' Robbins here, coming to you live for a network marketing tip of the day. As we get started, let's go ahead and get acquainted. If you don't mind, shout out below in the comments who you are and where you're tuning in from. And if it is your first time watching, click number 1 in the comments so I can warmly welcome you. And don't forget to share this right now on your team pages for a virtual viewing party for a chance for a shout out. Remember, the more you know, the greater your team will grow, as always. So we'd love to have you share this with your network marketing rock stars. As you're introducing yourself in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. So who am I? I am Sarah Robbins. I'm a former kindergarten teacher turned one of network marketing's very top leaders. I personally sponsored over 300 people into my business. We built a team of over 300,000, and together we did over $1 billion in sales in a year. We do that every year. And I do teach all of my best practices and I share my system in my book, Rock Your Network Marketing Business. Shout out if you've got it. And by the way, make sure you're tagging me on this in social media because I always share them on to my Instagram following, my Facebook following. But these make great gifts for your rock stars. We've got hard copy, Kindle, audio. If you get the hard copy, you can write inside you rock and send it as a gift, a welcome gift or promotion gifts for the rock stars on your team. It's short and sweet, but it is my system that helped us to build 7-figure success. Also, if you go to my website, sarahrobbins.com, under store, you can find all of my masterclasses too. If there's a certain topic that you need to be taught and trained in. But I always share some fun freebies here. And today I'm going to talk to you about what to do when you face tough times in your network marketing business. Because here's the thing. We will all face them in different levels, different stages. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to face challenge, and really not just in network marketing, anything worth pursuing in life, right? In parenting, in building a traditional business, in your workplace, you're going to have moments that are tough, and you're also going to find that maybe there's seasons or times where you want to quit. In fact, the former president of our company always lovingly says, Sarah, I think you quit more than anybody else in the company. And I think she's right. But I face so many challenges to get to where I am. But the cool thing is today, I really get to walk out my why. And guys, there's nothing like seeing your reason why in action. I'm an at-home mom with my sweet son, and also I build orphanages all around the world, and thanks to the profession, I don't just give, I go. That's thanks to the time freedom the business allows for us as well. So is it easy? No. Is it worth it? You bet. I always say, what is your why worth? But today I want to talk to you about what to do when you face tough times. I remember one time that I was facing a challenge in my business, and I had what I called a Moses moment. I was thinking in my head about all of the things that weren't going my way, and I remember waking up and literally hearing God speak to my heart and say, don't be a Moses. Now, before anybody gets all spiritually upset at me here, don't hang up. This is not going to be, a Bible lesson for you here. This is going to be a lesson in leadership. I'm going to share with you a story that I believe everybody is mature enough to hear and listen to and receive the parts that, basically what I'm trying to share is released from a leadership perspective. So who was Moses? Well, Moses basically was a man who was tasked to lead the Israelite people out of slavery. They were in Egypt and into their promised land, basically a land flowing with milk and honey, a land of abundance and freedom. And what I love, the promised land was actually promised to them. Now, of course, as you know, anything worth walking out, as you're walking towards your why, you know that there's going to be discouraging parts of your story along the way. In fact, if you read the story, you see all the way from Exodus through Numbers that these people, they face pressure and problems along the way. But here's the cool thing that you see in the story too. They were always protected. They were always provided for time and time again. So there was a time where they had no food and literally manna started falling from heaven. The bitter water was made sweet. The parting of the Red Sea, which basically eradicated their enemy, the Egyptian army, before their very eyes. Even when there was plagues, they were protected. Yet each time, here's the interesting thing, each time they faced pressure, what did they do? They found themselves complaining and becoming complacent. It was almost like they had temporary amnesia. They forgot about all the times that the wrongs were made right. They forgot about all of the protection and provision during the journey. And ultimately, they failed to count their blessing, and so they got stuck. They began to camp in the place of complacency. They wanted to go back to what was. Guys, what wasn't even the best for them. I mean, think about it. They were slaves. Their greatest days were ahead. I remember one time I was facing a leadership challenge, and it was more like people and personality type thing, nothing with my company. But I was like, man, this is so tough. And I found myself sitting in a corner and telling God, I was like, you know, it was so much easier teaching. And he was like, really? Was it easier? And it was like this reminder of, there I was paying 19, you know, I had 19 cents in my bank account. I was paying bills out of my change jar because of Michigan's economy. I was facing the loss of my job. And I was like, really, I was far more stressed, right? My husband always jokes. He's like, you have month end, Sarah, like one stressful day a month in this business. It's not all day, every day, like most people who are working 9 to 5. But then God really corrected my heart and said, it's not about you anyway, Sarah. It's about the people that I'm going to bless through you. You see, my greatest days were ahead. But here's the thing, your greatest days are ahead if you keep journeying and you have an attitude of faith. I believe what was wanted from them was an attitude of thankfulness and gratefulness for all of the goodness. But here's the thing, unrecognized complacency eventually leads to decline. You know, we can get into a place where we're no longer grateful. We can get into a place where we feel entitled to our success because, by golly, we put in the work once and now our team's not performing the way that they used to. Or we can get into a place where we just take for granted the things that we have, and maybe we don't do the work. Unrecognized complacency eventually leads to decline. So here's the saddest part of the story. It's the ending. So spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you how it ends. Do you know that most of them didn't make it to the promised land, including the leader Moses? And again, I believe what was wanted was that attitude of praise, thanks, gratefulness, and also vision for the promises that were in store for them. So here's the thing. I made a vow that as a leader, as a person, as a business owner, you all own your own business. If you're in network marketing, you are the CEO of your own company. I told myself, I don't want to be a Moses. And I made a decision, because here's the thing, I want to walk out my why. I want to walk out my promise, and I want to help other people do the same. Your yes is tied to other people's. Your blessings, other people's blessings are tied to your obedience. It starts with you. So I decided always I would do a few things. Number one, I would focus on what I could control, my personal productivity. You can't control other people around you. You can't control your team. I mean, you can't control what anybody in your company is doing. I decided that I would never stop recruiting and I would never stop hosting meetings and events. And I decided I would always focus on my personal leadership, doing the best that I could, doing that piece of it with excellence. And number two, I decided that I would never utter negative words to my leaders or other leaders, anybody in my company for that matter, because my influence matters. You see, we all have a measure of influence that we've been entrusted to, whether you're influencing people in your home, people in your team, maybe not even your team, but maybe it's your company. Your words matter. There's this verse that says, it's so good, it's not what goes into a man's mouth that defiles him. It's what comes out of his mouth. You see, we're always so worried about what am I going to eat and how's that going to affect my health. That verse literally stopped me dead in my tracks. What it's saying is, yes, I mean, can we go and be gluttonous and eat McDonald's every day and expect to be healthy? Probably not, right? There's wisdom in that. But what it's telling us is it's not just what we put into our mouth. It's the things that we're speaking over our situation, over our team, over a dream, over our destiny, over our company, even subliminally. You go and complain about your company, oh, my company's this, that, and the other, and then you wonder why you're walking that out. Your life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the word says that you will eat the fruit thereof, good or bad, whatever it is that you're speaking. So you are actually responsible for every idle word that comes out of your mouth. And your words have great influence over your lives and over the lives of other people. Remember this always, your words create your world. When I first started my business, and my gosh, it took me 3 months to recruit my first distributor. It took me 3 months, and I went out to recruit over 300 and build a team over 300,000. And people are like, how? Guys, I was shy, young, broke. My network was young and broke like me. And I remember, I had no business saying this, but I did. I would say, I've got the fastest growing team in the company. And wouldn't you know, I had the fastest growing team in the company. And I would speak life over my leaders, and I would speak life over my company. And when I saw something that maybe wasn't going the way that I had planned, I would pray about it, but I would speak life about it. And I chose to be thankful and grateful during every single step of the journey. So here's the thing that you need, no matter what company you're in, no matter what product you promote, no matter what your pay plan is, I can promise you this, you will face those moments of pressure. You will face problems all along the way. I mean, that's just life. That's the way that it goes. What do you need to build your business bigger than ever before? New blood, new life into your business. You know, we've got to recruit. We teach our teams to do the same. I always say it's easier to give birth than it is to resurrect the dead. Can I get an amen? I mean, seriously, can I get an amen? If your team is tired, give life to new. You know, as leaders, if is an aspiring leader, you will never stop recruiting in your business. If you stop recruiting and bringing on new customers or new business partners, your team, mark my word, will die a slow death. That's why every single month, every single year for the past 12 years that I've been in my business, I have always been a top recruiter and I have never stopped recruiting. That's why arguably I have more top leaders direct to me than pretty much anybody else in the entire profession. Okay, I spoke at an event and we were measuring that. Most people have 2 or 3 legs or lines or leaders chasing them. I have over 15 very top people in our compensation plan. It's incredible, but it's because I've never stopped recruiting. The second thing is I'm always doing promotions and incentivizing pace. So making sure that you've got a good onboarding system, making sure that you're running incentives, doing events, create team culture, and implement ideas for inclusion for your teams, whether it's team pages, team retreats, get-togethers at convention, etc. Do you know that culture is something that you create? Customer service is something you create. And guess what? Customers is not just for customers. Everybody on your team is a customer. The experience they have is something that you are responsible to create. So think about if somebody left your company for whatever reason, what would they say about their experience with you? And as a leader, would they say, oh my gosh, she was such a Debbie Downer, negative Nelly, she was always just talking junk? Or would they say, you know what, the company wasn't for me, but man, Sarah Robbins, she was a stellar leader. She spoke life over us. She provided the most amazing, experiences for us. And then, remember this always, you've got to get back to the behavior to get to where you are in the first place. In any network marketing business, if you stop recruiting and stop building, your team dies a slow death. You have to recruit, you have to create simple systems and not get stuck into management mode. Did you know that is one of the top mistakes? I don't want to say number one because there's a lot of challenges that we face. But it's one of the very top mistakes that I see leaders and aspiring leaders do. It's like all of a sudden they have somebody on their team or they have a sizable team and they start getting into management mode, over training, over incentivizing, over motivating. And their team is tired and they're tired too. Remember this, the majority of the new people statistically, if your company gave you these stats, you would see, do you know the majority of new recruiting and new customers, it comes in from new people. Why? That's when you've got an unlimited network, but also when your excitement is the very, very highest. Those are the people who are crushing it. But the problem is people get in and they become complacent and they start overthinking it. And all of a sudden they start to see their team plateaus. In order to build new momentum, you have to focus on the new. What you focus on grows. So what you have to focus on is phase 1 building behaviors. Always, every person, I don't care your level in the company, brand new or you're a leader, it's the critical best practices of prospecting. So talking to people about your business or product, presenting, if by presenting I don't mean like giving a presentation, I mean sharing and talking about your business, closing and handling objections, and training, focusing on the fast start. By the way, if you need training on any of those things, go to sarahrobbins.com. I'll post the link after this and go to the store. And I have master classes, 2-hour classes on those things specifically. But meetings and events, these are a must. And these are the things that will never change no matter what company you're in. It's so funny because all of a sudden it's like you face a plateau or you face a problem and you're like, just like Moses, just like the Israelites, I want to go back to that. Or I want to go to this new shiny object. Here's the thing, the grass is not greener. The grass is green where you water it. In any network marketing company, you'll have to do 2 things, promote a product and promote an opportunity. Pick one and stick with it because that's how momentum is created. Little by little, it starts to become a lot. And if you're willing to do the work, but here's the thing, you're willing to has to be greater than you're wanting to. If you're willing to do the work and you give it the time that it takes, I can promise you this, your promise, the promise of network marketing, it awaits. So guys, who's ready to march on toward the promise today? I just felt the need to be encouragement here today. That's why I'm here. That's why this page is here. I want to see each and every one of you walk out your why. That truly is my heart. So how can I help? Well, grab my book, guys, or go to my store today at sarahrobbins.com. Pick up the courses, become a student of the profession, and commit to be relentless and do WIT, whatever it takes. Don't give up, guys, because if you quit, you're walking out on your team, your future team, you're walking out on your family, you're walking out on your dream. And I can assure you this, there's nothing like seeing your reason why in action. What is your why worth? All right, guys, I've done enough talking, so now I want to hear from you today. One thing, because we're going to walk out of the Moses moment. We're going to walk out of the wilderness. We're going to get out of complacency. We're going to march on toward the promise. I want every single person here to leave me one comment today, whether you're watching live or the replay. What is one thing you are grateful for today? That's what's wanted from you. What's one thing you're grateful for, without saying your company name, because this is a generic page, but what is one thing you can say you're thankful for? Hey, I'm thankful for the people in my company. I'm thankful for the opportunities it's given me. I'm thankful for the trip I took. I'm thankful that it allows me to put my son in preschool. Whatever it is, I want you to shout it out below. Every single person, one comment. And I believe your business will be blessed this week. Here's mine. I'm so thankful for the business and the foundation that I built years ago, and I continue to build today, that pays me today and allows me to be home with my family, to give to other people in need all around the world. And quite frankly, I am thankful for everything that it is to come. And I'm thankful for all of you, the ability to pour out to all of you and to be a blessing to the profession that has so tremendously blessed me and my family. All right, let me hear from you. And don't forget, somebody on your team needs to hear this. We all face discouraging times. So make sure to share this on your team page or in the inbox with a friend. Did it bless you today? I hope it did. And I hope to see you back here next week or on sarahrobbins.com. With that, I want to say have a great day. God bless and goodbye for now. And rock on, rock stars. You guys rock.